Hi, this is Paul on the Road, and I'm Paul. Well, my first video about Barrett Jackson was well received, and many of you asked for more. So that's what this one is all about. I hope you enjoy it. 1948 Cadillac Series 62 convertible. This is the car that started the fin war in Detroit, 1948. And when it was designed, the executives didn't like the fin treatment, and they asked the designers to come up with something else. But then they decided at the last minute to put it out and see how the public would accept it, and it was a hit. Now this car is a this car is a resto mod. It has a late model running gear in it, so it'd be a much nicer car to drive. And for those of you who don't remember, in the 50s, GM hid the fuel filler, and in this car, I'll show you where it is.
Well, look at that.
Isn't that something?
What is that?
That's the
gas.
That's the gas filler.
Oh, you press the button and the light goes up.
That's a sharp looking car.
The interior's been reworked. I would guess that radio is probably been converted to AM/FM, even though it looks like the original radio. It probably has a CD player somewhere hidden. I don't know that to be a fact, but I would guess that if they went to this kind of trouble, they would have done that. But it's got AC and all that. '63 Buick Riviera. And one of the interesting things about this car is, well, not this car specifically, but the model, was 1963 was the first year for the Riviera, but it was not intended to be a Buick. It was originally going to be a Cadillac LaSalle. In fact, they called it the LaSalle Project when they were designing it. It also went by another name called, oh shoot, 715. I can't remember the letters in front of it. I'll put it on the screen. But Cadillac passed on it after the design was done, and so they put it up for bids for the other models, or the other divisions, you know, Pontiac, Buick, Chevrolet, and Buick snatched it up because they needed something to improve their flagging sales, and this is what they chose. This one brings back a lot of memories. I had a 40 Ford Coupe, same color, black, not a convertible, and it had a Hemi in it too, just like this one does. This one has a 291 cubic inch DeSoto Hemi, and I had a 331 Chrysler Hemi in mine, and I got real good at changing the transmission in that car because it was the old Ford 3-speed top loader, and all I had to do was dump the clutch in low gear, and I'd peel off half of the of low gear. This is very cool. 1957 Dodge Sierra wagon, and it's a two-door. I suspect that this was Dodge's answer to the Chevrolet Nomad, because the Nomad, of course, was a two-door. Let's see what it's got under the hood. Oh my.
How many of these ended up in demolition?
A Chrysler Hemi, and if it's original Chrysler Hemi, it's a 392. Air conditioning. The interior is period. I mean, tuck and roll was something that was done in the 60s a lot. That or diamond tuck. Let's see what it says here. Powered by a rebuilt custom 354. So the engine right below the 392 was the 354. But dual 4 barrels. I mean, this thing would make plenty of power to move it down the road. '63 Plymouth Sport Fury Max Wedge recreation. Max Wedge just means that it's a 10-to-1 compression. It doesn't have the Max Wedge headers on it, the factory headers on it. It's got tube headers, but that's minor since it's not a real one anyway. 1926 Packard with an Avion Voisin front end, front grille surround. This was inspired by the most famous owner of an Avion Voisin was Rudolph Valentino, the silent film actor, and somebody wanted to build something that looked like his car, so they started with a Packard and did this. And it is a dual cowl Phaeton. The first cowl is here. The second cowl is here. So this was a car that would generally have a chauffeur driving you, and you would be sitting in the back with your own windshield. Let's see if it has the turning lights in the front. Some of them did. Nope, this one doesn't. The car next to it does, though. So those on this Cadillac, these two lights are tied into the steering linkage, and they will turn when you turn the steering wheel. Actually, I just took a second look, and these are not operated with linkage to turn with the steering. But I will see if I can find another one and show you what I'm talking about. Looks the same, but they actually have linkage rods that connect them, and it's tied into the steering, and they turn with the steering. And here's another car from the 50s with the hidden fuel door. This is a 57 Chevy 4-door hardtop. Used to be 4 doors were collectors would turn their noses up at them, but in the last few years 4 doors have become collectible cars too, and this is an example of one. But the hidden fuel door on this one is right here. '56 Rambler custom wagon. How cool is this? I love the color, tricolor, white top, black accents, and kind of a reddish orange finish. Has a 6-cylinder in it, but it also has AC. I also forgot until I read the sheet here on it that the transmission, the automatic transmission that was used by Nash Rambler in those years was a 4-speed Hydromatic, and it's a big heavy cast iron thing. I've removed a few in my day, and you wanted to make sure it was well attached to the jack before you separated it from the engine, because if it came down, it was coming down hard. Here's something you don't see too many of in the States. It's a 1991 Nissan Figaro. and it's right-hand drive, so that's a tell that it was not brought into the U.S., but somebody obviously brought this one in. I've only seen this makes 2 that I have seen in my life here in the U.S. 1917 Oldsmobile touring car. One of the interesting things about Oldsmobile is by 1917 the founder R.E. Olds, Ransom E. Eli Olds, was out of the company. The General Motors had pushed him out. I imagine it was Durant himself that did that. And he started another company by himself, or not by himself, but he started another company, and the name of that company were his initials, R.E.O. So if you see a Rio, that's what that means, Ransom Eli Olds. Well, thank you for watching. There will be more of these to come. I'm going back to Barrett tomorrow. The auction started today, Monday, and it was mostly automobilia, the gas pumps, automotive art, signs, all the stuff that's not an automobile. And I don't know if that goes on for more than one day, but I'm going back tomorrow regardless, and hope to get more footage and make more videos. So I'd love to have you come along. Thank you very much for watching.